Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to this sixth episode of our Dragon Age campaign. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I will not be GMing today's game. In fact, I'll be playing Harold, the Grey Warden elf from. I was gonna say Temeria. I've played a little too much
wrong
Witcher.
game, wrong game entirely.
Yeah, from Tevinter, who is also Fenris's new boyfriend. Suck it, Hawk. And
Excuse me. All I heard was that y'all went to bed together. I don't think that means you're his boyfriend. You're his hookup.
Ooh.
them's fighting words.
And I,
Strong start today, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
Tanya, I want
mind
to
the lie.
attack
I
the
mean, I
bard.
say this as I realize Simon has positioned it so half my face is covered by my.
Yeah,
thing,
what's
so.
no? It's the Zoom has screwed up all the cameras today. So let me just try to
I can tilt.
get your face.
you look like you're at the kids table, both of you.
Yeah, I am so sorry about that.
Since
okay.
we're already sort of all over the place, so I played Origins earlier today and finally got Zevran and was romancing Zevran and it was super fun. But
Oh,
every time
dear.
I talked to him, it would be like normal Zevran camera angle, and then every now and again it would just zoom in on his forehead. It was like, and someone finally was like, "Is it because you're a dwarf and you're little?" Maybe.
I-
Oh, you should have texted me. I totally missed it.
Oh, I should have, but believe me, there's plenty to go.
I mean, that's like when you play Witcher and you accidentally run too close to a wall and you clip through Geralt's head and see the back of his eyeballs, and you're like, that's just weird.
Or
Now
you have
that
broken
the-
mods in Origins, and then you can see the inside of Flemma's head entirely. And her teeth. That was nightmare fuel. That was nightmare fuel.
Ooh.
I add mods to my Witcher to see the inside of Geralt's pants.
I know you do because you sent it to me and I was disturbed for days. So thank you very much. Now I have to show Tanya because that's how the circle of trauma
God.
works.
Wait till Cyberpunk comes out.
Nope.
Oh God. Hi everyone.
Hello.
How's your evening going? While we fix the cameras.
Cameras are fixed. Let's go around the table.
Oh,
Tell us who
boy.
you are, who you will be playing today, and we'll leave the mic to Tanya at the end, so that she can take us away to the world of Thedas. Right underneath me on the overlay, we'll do it counterclockwise, and we'll begin with Deirdre.
Hi, all. Welcome back. You know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, Praxor Thesmiophories, Samir on Twitch, and I get to play Verisa, the sneaky, stabby bitch.
Hi everyone.
That's
Wait, did you have more?
No, go. No,
Nope.
that's it. Go.
We're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Andrew. In Bastien. The Ferelden warrior and the strong, silent type. Kind of. That's about it.
On the other side of the overlay, we'll begin with Kelly.
What? Oh, hi. I'm Kelly. I'm the opera geek. I play Mavia, everyone's favorite dwarf. I was not here last week, so I wasn't here for the shenanigans that went on. Iron Bull and Mavia went off to like buddy cop it up somewhere doing something, which I'm sure I'll find out tonight.
And
Sorry, couldn't find the window to unmute.
Oh,
That
that's
brings
okay.
it to me, I think.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eugenio, sometimes known as DM Jazzy Hands. Tonight, I will be playing Zalanis, the Dalish elf keeper and mage, occasional morning dancer, and may, depending on how things
Are
go,
you a tiny dancer?
It's not that tiny.
No. Zalanis is officially the purist. After last week.
Oh, I
Zalanis
forgot
the
about
purist.
that.
Wait, what did Zalanis do?
Just ask
Zalanis
questions.
got a clue. That's what Zalanis did. Zalanis
Wait,
got a
are we
clue.
talking? Okay, I'm not.
And depending on how things go, I may also be reprising my role as Loghain MacTier later tonight as well.
Thank you, everyone,
Oh,
for
boy.
coming. And that leaves us in the hands of our GM, Tanya.
Oh boy. I regret not putting that alcohol in my coffee before we went live now. Hi, I'm your GM, Tanya. I'll be playing all your NPCs and the Inquisitor Fenris. Eugenio has graciously agreed to help me with Logain Mactir because your GM has often put herself in scenes with all the NPCs at once, and I'm not great at that. So before we do get started with the shenanigans, because I've just given up. This is now shenanigan pre-Saturday.
You could always let me play the NPCs, and I have no idea who they are, so that could be really fun.
I might take you up on that next week.
They're just all going to give Mavia presents. That's it.
Lord have mercy. But before we recap, I believe Simon has some thanks for our sponsors.
You are so much better streamer than I am.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Yes, before we begin, I would just like to thank all of our sponsors for this week's show, beginning with Magen Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com. If you use code WanderingDM, you get 15% off. They're also having a sale right now, and they've just released their new book about cats, everything about cats. So if you want a book filled with D&D monsters that are cat-related or cat-based or cat pun-based, check out their Fantastic Felines book. Next up, our other sponsor is, of course, Found Familiar, the great coffee company. If you're craving good coffee, check out foundfamiliar.com. You can even use code WanderingDM to get 10% off your purchase. And if you order for $50 or more, you get free shipping if you live in the continental United States. That said, our other sponsor for today is brand new, and it is, of course, Roll20, the platform that we've been using for a while now on all of our shows here at Wandering DM. They've been gracious enough to sponsor us since last week and going forward. So we thank them profoundly. If you are into TTRPGs and you're looking for a way to play remotely during this crisis, check out Roll20 at roll20.net. or with the panel down below. Last but not least is our partners through the Diceomancy program, Level Up Dice. We are so close, everyone, to becoming a level 2 Diceomancer. If you would just like to click the purple torch down below in the panel, you don't have to purchase anything. If you do, I would be super grateful. But if you don't, every click helps. And with every click, we get closer to a new level. And with new levels, we get a bunch of dice that we give away to all of you, the viewers. So, that said, I'm done with all the spiel. I'm done with everything. I would also like to thank, just a little side note, Flying Cirrus, Shauna, who did the portrait art for all of our characters, and this nice image that you see on the overlay of Mavia and Bull, which is probably... Yeah, for Kelly's birthday, which is probably what happened between between Mavia and Bull while we were away doing our other shenanigans last week.
He's even got the little horn ornament that she gave him. He does. On his horn.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And he's got bacon. Don't forget, he's got the bacon. That's important.
And I love how Verisa's just like down in the corner.
I like that I didn't know who we were fighting.
That's Logain and his very punchable nose.
I know.
Although I really thought it was Snape for a hot second when I saw it.
So did I. I was like, okay, we're fighting Alan Rickman. That's fine.
But, you know, R.I.P. Alan Rickman. He didn't do anything to us. Oh, goodness. We're off to an amazing start this week. How's everyone been? Once we get ourselves under control, can everyone, well, obviously except Mavia, Kelly, recap the shenaniganry of last week, including some very interesting times between us two elves in our party. Well, one NPC elf and one elf in our party.
I had such bad nightmares. Just
And
kept tossing and
woke
turning
everyone
the whole
up.
night.
Yeah, such bad nightmares that Hawk came downstairs and threw a tankard into a fireplace to vent his frustrations.
That's because
Simon, don't make me read how you recapped that scene with Fenris to me. Don't make me read it from the DMs.
Oh.
I will.
Please do, because I don't even remember.
Oh boy.
Sometimes
Boy.
I say things and I don't remember them.
Well, before all that happened, we did have
Yes.
a chat with
Yes.
Hawk and names Loghain and
Yes.
Fenris all sort of had a chat in the warden's not stronghold, help
Fortress.
Fortress.
No.
Way station.
Way
way
station.
station.
Way
Thank
station.
you.
Yeah.
I was like, it's
Oh,
not
y'all.
big enough to be a fortress. We're all professionals. People
It's
occasionally
really-
pay us for words.
Truly.
and-
Oh, boy.
Please tell me they got lost because they didn't have a map.
Well, we haven't tried to go too far yet. We were just at the way station, had a conversation with Loghain and Hawk, who had just arrived, and Fenris about a lot of things that were going on. Loghain is being chased by basically all of the Grey Wardens in Orlais right now, and he sort of explained that. He talked a lot about what was going on with the evil Corypheus, who many of our NPCs were convinced they had slain quite some time ago. Lots of concerns therein, and the ones that were most relevant to us were the ones that somehow might possibly link Anders and Corypheus together, or at least that involved Loghain possibly having heard about what Anders is up to and where he is. And then...
And then,
And
and
then someone found evidence, Harold, of Anders passing through the way station, and then Verisa went tracking by herself and apparently disappeared and did some really good tracking and sneaking. Everybody else went back to the inn, and there was a discussion. I wasn't there. Verisa wasn't there for it. Then there was a fight. She came back to that. The suddenly candle flicker and Verisa sitting next to Bastien moment.
Who
Scared
promptly
poor
jumps.
Bastien.
Yes.
And then the knockdown drag out fight between Hawk and Fenris, culminating in Harold, trying to justify his emotional support, and everyone else, Bastien and Verisa, going, "We're not making fun of you for having a relationship. We're just making fun of the bad lies you're using to cover it." And then Solanus got a clue in the middle of the inn.
Look, Solanus is perfectly familiar with how things go. He just didn't really pay enough attention to know that that's what was going on.
I really need somebody to clarify what this clue means to me right now.
I
What
believe
clue
it
would that
was
be?
That's what I was
Fenris and
worried about.
Harold? It was Fenris and Harold at the top of his voice.
So I would like to tell you all, it was not on DM that Simon said this. It was right before I had to be all serious, crazy person in The Witcher. And he was like, "Did you hear what happened on Thirsty Thursday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I heard." He was like, "Fenris was hungry, so I brought him some meat." And I was like, "Please be quiet."
That was the other thing. He attempted to seduce Fenris with a plate of pork. Apparently it worked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't attempt, succeeded.
You brought him the big meat.
I mean,
Yep. So anyway, there was
Sorry.
a touching scene between Harold and Fenris.
touching.
Touching indeed.
It was
Is that what they
also
call it
touching.
now?
Touch it,
It
touch
was
it, touch it,
very
touch me.
sweet-ish in its way.
Yes, there
I
was.
just brought Kelly. Kelly's like, I'm out.
I forgot I was attached to the computer, and I tried to close the door. Ow.
There was a moment between Fenris and Harold.
Ow.
And
It was very sweet.
yeah, there were things that happen off camera, and that's cool. But yeah, there was a touching moment between Harold and Fenris about them getting to know each other. And the next morning, we left for Skyhold.
Mhm.
Yes.
With Hawk making some snarky comments, Harold's response being, well, if you didn't want to have a fight, you could have joined. And then Zalanis getting another clue about all three of them.
Oh,
Well, he's making
that one was definitely a
assumptions.
surprise.
He was making assumptions about all three of them.
Well, no, getting a clue about what Harold was implying. I should rephrase.
Ah, that's right. And
That-
then and Harold got some education about Fenris's past, if I recall correctly.
Uh-huh.
yes. Also, Diana in chat is right. Fenris learned about Grey Warden stamina.
Somebody botched the first roll.
Hmm.
But yes, there is there's a lot of things to unpack regarding Fenris in his life.
Yes.
I'm just gonna let that one slide. Just gonna
Yeah,
let
that was interesting. And by the way, it was totally off the cuff and ad-libbed. I had not written that out. I had no way of knowing that was going to happen. And I do want to give a shout out to Snark Knight, who a few days after our show always live tweets while he watches, and I
While
think has
drinking.
while drinking wine. So the live tweets are always hilarious. They're not always on point of what's going to happen or what he'd like to happen, but they're hilarious. So for those that, if you're not caught up, you should look at the live tweets for last week's episode before we get started. Any other recap before we actually get into what's happening this week?
There was a brief moment of some tension where Harold asked Logain about the joining ceremony and possible recruit Grey Wardens, and yeah.
There was tension, so Harold and Logain and Fenris need to have a conversation once they're in Skyhold about a certain member of their party.
What about the fake guy? Did anything happen to him yet?
Yeah,
Not
that's it. We're gonna have a conversation about him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like,
Yeah, we're not there yet because the DM goofed and thought everyone knew, and they did not. So
I mean, for anybody that missed the last time Mavia was here, she stole a map, accidentally broke the map in half, and then got kind of freaked out because everybody seemed like they were about to fight. So she kind of ran out the door with the map
with your stolen halves.
to look for tape. Apparently, I don't know.
Yes, Thedasian tape, whatever that would look like.
So after that, Kelly doesn't know what happened to Mavia, and I'm relying completely on Tanya to tell me.
Oh boy. This may not go as well as the way you think.
I know it won't.
Well, with all that in mind, we pick up this week with you're on your way to Skyhold, and Verisa, because wow, Kelly was just talking. Verisa has been doing a bunch of scouting, and I believe has rejoined with the party by the time you're almost to Skyhold, correct?
Yeah, she went out early, kind of left early after everyone else, and comes back to them as on the road to Skyhold, kind of meets up with them on the way, just kind of pulls one of those appears suddenly next to Zalanis moments.
Oh, what do you do, Zalanis, when your one and only clanmate shows up literally next to you out of thin air?
I mean, it's not the first time, but I don't know that matters. I think it probably still, maybe he's getting a little better at hiding the startle every time, but only just a little. But since we are, traveling, and when we were on our way to Crestwood, we were attacked and had a little moment there. So, the first thing he would, after he collects himself, would be find anything interesting while we were out.
He's headed this way. Don't know if he's made the whole path, but he's headed this way. Towards the Skyhold.
I don't know if Zalanis doesn't know what she's talking about, or I don't know what she's talking about.
Neither of you would likely know. All you know is
great.
All you know is she disappeared ostensibly on the trail of Anders or anyone else that had been in the way station. As a player, you would probably know exactly what she means, but as a character, you may need a little nudge.
Right. So Zelenis will sort of look around and make sure that everyone is with us. And are Bull and Mavia back with us yet?
You will talk to them once you get to Skyhold or at the gate.
Okay, so I think in that moment, then Zelenis would probably assume she meant Iron Bull, and so I'll ask her. Is the dwarf with you?
Sorry, not that quarry. The one we're actually hired to track.
Oh,
Anders.
on his way to Skyhold, you say?
The trail leads there. I don't know if he stopped there or not, but that's as far as he got. He's on his way.
Interesting. We should probably let the Inquisitor know if Anders is on his way to the Inquisitor's stronghold. He should be appraised of the situation.
Of course. And then she just kind of gives you like this half look of like, am I doing that or are you doing that? Oh, I'll do that.
Like, which one of you wants to pray?
I haven't gotten him impatient with me in about 24 hours, so I can talk to him.
Wow. I mean, he had a good night. He might be in a great mood.
That's
You never
right.
know.
He might.
Although he has had to deal with Hawk muttering under his breath and casting aspersions on his lineage
Oh,
back to
Lord.
Arlathan all the way there.
Wait, where
So-
Hawk's on a horse, right?
Yeah, you're all on horseback, so otherwise it would take you a long time to go between.
Yeah,
Arlathan and
yeah,
Skyhold.
yeah. So, oh man, she wants to. She
What
thinks
were-
about
what
it,
do
but
you
she
wanna
doesn't
do?
do.
What do you want to do?
She doesn't. She thinks about it, and she's like, thinks about walking by and just cutting the saddle strap underneath. But
Oh
she
my God, trying to
doesn't.
kill him?
Jesus.
No,
Are you sure?
it's why. It's why she doesn't.
Okay, I'm
She
like,
thinks about it.
because I was like, wow, that could go really badly.
Mhm.
If they're stopped, it wouldn't go that badly.
Fair.
Probably.
Maybe.
He's also in
Fair.
full plate armor, and he should know how to fall off the back of a horse.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Fair. Well, Hawk has not full plate. He is still a mage.
Okay, so he has at least wearing some sort of armor, and he should know how to fall off the side of a horse.
See,
Fair.
I know that look in Varisa's eyes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and ride forward. Ride forward and start talking to Venris before one of us gets knocked off our horses.
Oh my
Mostly
God,
because
you
it's just,
gave
I
us-
think, mostly because I think it's just she's hearing Hawk going, and she's like, "Oh man, that's gonna be a problem in the future. I should just deal with it now."
Oh my
Oh
god!
fuck, I can't deal with it now. Okay.
As I'm riding up, just to glance back to her. No.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
that is like yelling at cat energy.
I know.
No.
But you know, you gotta try. You gotta try.
Oh, boy.
So I will ride up towards wherever Fenris is and just say, Fenris, there is news, somewhat unexpected, at least for me.
Fenris is riding kind of between, like, not quite next to Harold, but he's like in that observant in the lead, since he's got a sword, and also he's just like in that mentality of being on guard.
Sure.
So he turns to you, he's like, news?
Varisa, she was out scouting, you may recall. It
Yes.
seems that she managed to find the trail of our quarry of Anders.
Really? Had he been in the way station?
He did pass through the way station. I believe that is where she picked up his trail. And unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, sort of depends on your outlook on this, he apparently passed in the direction of and very near to Skyhold.
Fenris like almost stops his
Mhm.
horse and looks at you. It's like headed towards Skyhold.
This is what she said. And, well, we have good reason to trust her abilities.
All right then.
Thanks.
Wow. You
welcome.
hear this like angry, like, thanks, kind of behind you, like, thanks, fucker.
No, I
Um,
was trying to be complimentary, mostly.
I know, it's just hilarious.
Mostly.
So Fenris just nods. He's like, all right, we should get a move on and get back faster. Can you inform the others?
Of course.
All right, he he takes the lead and kicks his horse into a faster canter. What are the rest of you doing? Because at this pace, she'll get back fairly quickly.
I think if Zalanis had gone up to tell Fenris and that Harold was with Fenris, Varisa's going to drop back to let Bastian know what's going on. Because assuming that Bastian would be taking some, if Fenris and Harold are in the front, then Bastian would probably be in the rear for, general protection.
Yes.
And then just kind of pull up her horse. And she's not trying to be stealthy anymore, but it's just still one of those general moments. Kind of general things. And she's not, but she's, you've probably seen her show up by this point.
Yeah.
Bastian, I believe our quarry seeks to find us, further us in our own den.
Oh, you found him?
Not him, his trail. Continues on after the way station where I lost it last night and I picked it up again this morning. Continues on to Skyhold, but at least approaching that way.
See. Why would he go to Skyhold though if he's been avoiding it this long?
Brings up a number of concerns. Also, considering certain things that were said about by certain people, I'd be concerned about his control.
We should definitely hurry and get back there soon.
I believe that's the plan.
Well, Bastian and Bull and Logain would have noticed that you are in a hurry to get back all of a sudden, because it was like a leisurely trot, so you get there like in time to wash up kind of for dinner. But now you're at a very fast clip heading back towards Skyhold. Does anybody want to chat on the way, or are you just like all kind of on alert businessy now that you know that your quarry is possibly in the vicinity?
On alert businessy.
Okay. Others?
On alert, trying to overhear what Hawk is muttering.
Oh, really?
What?
All right. Give me a roll for that.
Yeah. Would that be perception?
Sure.
Well, at least I have a double.
Oh.
I got a 9.
Oh dear. I mean, that's not terrible.
Lots of points, stunt points, though. Although I don't know if you're allowed to do, your class lets you do stunt points and stuff like that.
Stunt points aren't class limited.
Yeah, I could probably, but I don't know if Tanya, you would let me look up the stunts for perception.
I wouldn't stop you.
Page 133, if you're wondering.
Thank you.
There you go. So go ahead. While you look up these stunts, Hawk he's been giving Harold and Fenris filthy, angry looks the entire time, and it's very unbecoming for the former champion to behave this way. But he is a bit grumpy because while he and Fenris have not been together for a bit, he's a wee bit jealous, even though under penalty of a sword at his neck, he may not actually admit it. He's been like, flaunts this right in my face. How dare he? And it's this fucking elf. Who even is this guy? And stuff like that. Like, and he's like, it's loud enough where with your roll, depending on your stunts, you probably could hear it clearly, but you just know that Hawk is an unhappy man right now.
I will use the stunt jest.
Okay. Go forth, and what does jest do?
So jest is you turn a phrase, twist your expression, or make some other comic motion that leads those nearby to laugh, or at the very least stifle their snorts. Anyone nearby who wishes to avoid laughing must make a TN11 willpower self-discipline test.
Oh, okay.
And what I will do is, as we're just writing, and I figure Hawk is probably ahead of me in the column.
Yeah. Yeah, because him and Zalanis would be, I think of it almost like, without really meaning to, you've almost formed like a diamond formation. So him and Zalanis would be almost on opposite sides.
Okay, yeah.
But definitely, well, in this case, if you're trying to be around near Fenris, you would either be kind of like ahead and to the left, or behind and to the right, depending on where you wound up being.
For this to work, I would like to be behind and to the right.
Okay, go forth.
So as Hawk is just muttering these things, Harold would turn around in his saddle and just like make faces and just go generally something like,
Oh, kind of like
in back of Hawk's, in the back of Hawk, to whoever is watching behind us.
Oh no.
Okay, so who is behind Harold to see this shenaniganry?
I mean, I was about to say that I would ride back towards the middle and get near Verisa so that she could watch for danger, and then if I see the high sign from her, I can begin some defensive magics, which unfortunately probably means I'm riding right by them when this happens.
All right.
Dear.
Y'all work this out. I need to see how this happens.
All right, so this is what did you tell me? A willpower self-control?
Self-discipline test.
Oh, this doesn't have self-discipline. Here's willpower. Here we go. Ooh, that's I win or something. 7, 8, 13. What was the TN?
11. So you don't
Okay,
laugh.
so no, but it is. I do not laugh out loud. It is fairly obvious that I am stifling the laugh, though. At least anyone who can see me. At least Fenris has his back to me at this point, hopefully, and doesn't notice.
Verisa also manages to do that, and she just keeps her face calm but raises an eyebrow at Harold.
Bastian.
What did you get, Bastian? Did you fail it?
So Bastian got,
Oh no, friend.
yeah, just couldn't make it if his life depended on it.
Boy.
He just starts dying of laughter, just absolute guffaw, just, yeah, you hear him echoing a mile away at what Harold is doing. It's a, you know, he's used to riding a horse. It's not that bad, but you know, he's risking falling off the horse a little bit here.
Wow, so you're laughing that hard that you could fall off your horse.
Oh, it's intense.
It's an intense belly laugh. Okay, then. Fenris is far up enough where he wouldn't have been, I don't think he would have been affected by what Harold was doing, but he definitely hears Bastien laughing. And he kind of can't, now I don't know anything about horses. I'm probably going to get this wrong. Please forgive me. He kind of like tries to like turn, like he slows down and turns so you can see like, what is so funny? This is serious. And he sees Bastien just doubled over, about to fall out of his saddle. And he's just glaring at Bastien. And then he looks up and catches what Harold's doing. And he just gives you like the reproving dad stare. Like, really? Really?
I make a pitiful face.
I'm gonna talk to you later. He gives you like total dad, uncle, really, are you 12 look.
Well, last night he gave me daddy eyes, now he's giving me dad eyes. I mean, by the way, chat, I have an emote if you're subscribed where you can have me face palming myself. It's made for that. It's made for exactly these moments. I love y'all.
That's Fenris's expression that I just put in the chat. That's the expression on his face. Um. So he's just like, he just gives you like that. Mm, mm, mm. And he heard your comment about the daddy eyes. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna talk when we get back. Like wait till we get home, young man. Even though you're close to the same age." So Hawk, meanwhile, has turned around and saw what you were doing, Harold, and he like glares at you, and suddenly you feel your saddle get cold.
The minute Hawk starts to glare at Harold, Verisa just looks him dead in the eye and just kind of tilts her head slightly, shakes it subtly, and as if to say, no, we've already had this one. I know who's the problem child here. And she's just gonna kind of slide up a little bit further and negligently just flick Harold just slightly, as if to distract him and get him to focus on her for a moment.
How
Well-
cold are we talking?
You're uncomfortable, but luckily for you and for Verisa, because Hawk was the champion of Kirkwall. You know, no matter how dangerous Verisa is, Hawk, out of character, breaking the fourth wall, Hawk
Yeah,
is
yeah.
deadly threat level, so that would not work out well for Verisa.
Oh no, Verisa knows exactly what the threat level is here.
She just
But
doesn't
her
care.
Right.
A, she doesn't care, and B, her job is to mitigate threats.
Fair.
This is a threat. I must mitigate threat. Whether or not it goes well is an entirely separate issue.
So, but luckily for Harold, Fenris shouts something at Hawk, and it's not quite Tavine. It's not quite a language any of you may know, and it sounds like something only Hawk. Well, Hawk, like he like jerks up and stares at Fenris really quickly, and like just kind of puts his hand back on his saddle, and just canters forward very fast, and the chill you were feeling in your bits has stopped.
I will remain stoic and quiet the rest of the way.
Yeah, Fenris is now in the "don't make me turn this Inquisition around" mode, because he's like, the person we're looking for is headed toward home. Hawk's being an asshole, and you're being a child. What do Bastian and Solanas think or have to say about this? Because I'm sure this is probably a surprise / this is the Inquisitor, or how are you taking this? Because we haven't A, heard a lot from you two, and B, this is an interesting side of the Inquisitor that many people would never get to see and tell the tale of.
Every like decidedly, well, I guess human isn't the right word, but like real person thing, right, that happens with Fenris, this very much included, just like somehow in some sort of somewhat twisted way, I guess, just like takes another weight off of Solanas' shoulders, because he's like, this guy's the leader of the Inquisition and is acting, like this. Maybe I don't have to be so serious all the time as the keeper of my clan of two. So I think Solanas has an unconscious half smile on the whole time. Ooh.
Oh, so you're like, Fenris is a real live person and not his high and mighty Lord Inquisitor.
And so then I don't have to be like his high and slightly less mighty Lord Keeper. Like I can just take care of the people that I care about, and that's enough.
Fair.
Bastion is kind of looking at all of this go on with still with a wide grin on his face and uh, appreciating the camaraderie that he's seeing amongst his companions, and in a way feeling a little like relieved more and more that it's less formal than what he was expecting. Like he took on the job not knowing who he'd be working with and thinking it might be this very serious, very kind of just do your job, take your orders, and that's it. And now he's seen a lot of, warmth and shenanigans going on, which is, he appreciates that a lot because historically some of his jobs have been very just follow your orders, don't step out of line, just do what you're told to. So he's appreciative of what he sees going on.
Okay. Fenris he's just like, we need to get back to Skyhold. Verisa, you should liaise with Zevran as soon as we get in and get cleaned up. He'll want to know what you found.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Actually, yes, because we're not that far away. Do you remember the path there?
Yes, Inquisitor. I'll see you there.
Right.
Have a pleasant day, champion. And she just rides out.
Wow. And Hawk is really about to sass you before Fenris gives him like that, do one more thing look. That kind of like, I see you.
And Verisa wouldn't have done it as sarcastically as I just said it, but she did it relatively politely and for Verisa.
Welp. Okay, that is interesting. Because at this point, Fenris is very much, I need to go home before I start snapping necks and people are getting on my nerves. So the rest of your ride to Skyhold is pretty uneventful. Verisa gets there about a half hour before the rest of you. You get in, and as you enter the Great Hall, Mavia and Bull are sitting there kind of like, what took you so long? At least Bull is. What's Mavia doing when you see everyone arrive?
She's teaching him a dirty song.
Oh. And what would that be?
Prax, you brought this one on yourself.
I support it.
She's going to be sitting right next to him, and she's giving him instruction like it's somebody that, you've been repeating this over and over, and like they keep messing up the words. So she's just going to keep singing it to him until he gets it right, and pretending that he cares. So what they would hear her singing is, oh, a mage's staff has a knob on the end, it does. Oh, a mage's staff has a knob on the end, it does. Oh, the mage's staff proves he's a man. He grips it firmly in his hand, he does. I do have the rest of the lyrics, but I'm not going to sing them all.
Oh, no, you're going to sing them at some
Apologies,
point.
Terry Pratchett. I love you so much.
And Zelana's just used an invisibility cloak. He's done. He's out.
I mean, it was either this one or the hedgehog can never be buggered at all.
Nope, this was the good one.
Wow. And this is why we get together every Thursday, y'all. All right, Bull, I'm going to spare you all me trying to sing that, just so you know, because we would like people to stay and not leave. Bull, in his very gruff voice.
Somebody go on Cameo, make Freddie Prinze Jr. sing this.
Someone tweeted, no, you have to record yourself singing and ask Freddie Prinze Jr. to do it. No. He does not know I exist.
Anyway, go ahead. Bull does well.
Bull sings along, and he's doing it partially to humor Mavia, but also because he really does like the song. It's a dirty limerick song. He loves it. But he's also kind of like tired and really would just like a huge flagon of beer. But he's grateful for your company and really really glad you stuck with him after the terrors that were inflicted upon him during the fight with the demons.
So the other thing is, would she would like to make a roll to find out if she glued that map back together that she stole.
Give me I don't know if you have the proper skills right. Give me a roll and send me a whisper for that.
Oh, what kind of roll would it be?
That's a really good question.
Dexterity?
I don't know. None of you have cartography, do you?
Nope. But what would it be under?
I think that does exist, and I think it might be cunning.
Yeah, I think it's cunning.
All right. Well, use your cunning. It is a high score, but unfortunately, you not have a focus in cartography. So yes, give me a score using cunning, and then whisper me the total. Unless, of course, I'll see it on stream. So, no, Kim, you will not get in trouble listening to this.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. I guess I tried to whisper it, and roll 20 just rolled it instead because thanks. Oops.
It's fine. So 13 gets you repaired the map, but it's very clear this map has taken some damage, that someone stuffed it in a bag rather quickly. And
please tell me I glued the continents upside down to each other or something. Just
I mean, I wasn't going to, but since you said it, yes. One side of the map is showing Thetis. It is proper. The Anderfells and everything else are in the right place. And on this side, the Manancer is somehow upside down and backwards and on the wrong side of Kirkwall on the map. So anyone who actually knows what Kirkwall should look like on a map is going to be very, very confused.
I like that Bull probably didn't correct her either. He's just like, good job.
Oh, God, no. He's just like, He just sat there and drank and was like, you fixed that map.
I did. I fixed it. It was very, very difficult.
It's okay. Cartography's hard, as many people will tell you. So you all have arrived, Mavia and or Bull. Do any of the party returning, other than Barisa, because you've gone ahead to find Zevran, and we'll come to you in a moment, do any of you greet your party? Are you going to notice? Are you just like, I'm hungry, I'm tired, no one talk to me? How are you feeling upon getting back to Skyhold?
I will go and find Barisa first thing and just check in with her and see if she has any other news. Yeah.
Okay, so you are going to find Barisa. We will come to you all in a little bit. Bastian, Harold, etc. How are you finding getting back and running right into Bull and Mavia doing?
Mavia, you're here.
I am.
Awesome. How did you get back here? I thought you were with us.
You're speaking to me. You're like actually talking to me.
It's been known to happen.
Oh.
We've had conversations before, remember?
Yes, but very short ones. And you never started them. I'm thinking, no, you never started any of those conversations.
I'll give you that. Yes, it's been very one-sided.
We were on a super secret mission and only recently got back.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Successful, I hope. Like, what did you do?
Oh, super successful.
Cool. What'd you do?
It's secret.
Is it related to what we're actually doing? Like searching for Anders?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And do we need, like, I mean, Fenris is back now. Do we need to share this like with Fenris and let him know that you guys were successful?
Bull, you absolutely need to share our mission with them and let them know how successful we were. And she'll just sit and start and look at Bull.
What kind of look are you giving, Bull? I need to know.
Um, it's that it's the look that you kind of give your friends when you've dug yourself into some shit and they need to kind of help you climb out of it. It's that kind of hopeful. You love me, right? Please tell me you love me.
And Bull just kind of like gently pats Mavia on the head. Yeah, we got this. What's your name again?
Bastia.
Bastian. He kind of looks you up and I was like, yeah, we got this. We just got back a little ahead of you. Our broody over there seems a little bit angry and went straight up to his quarters.
Yeah, there were a few events on the road, kind of before we got on the road as well.
Did you have like fights or something? Did you fight monsters?
No.
Oh, you know why you didn't fight monsters?
Why?
Because Bull and I totally cleared the entire road back to Skyhold.
That must be it. I mean, the two of you together, that I wouldn't be surprised if they ran screaming in the opposite direction.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. We're a great partnership, right? And she's sitting like up on the table so that she's semi close to like eye level with him. And she's just like kind of punching him on the shoulder and then like shakes her hand a little bit.
And Bull is like this with his tankard, and he's just kind of like,
tell him about all the monsters. We killed so many monsters.
yeah, lots.
So many. I mean, super scary ones too.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
Yep. That's why you guys were safe on the way back.
Thank you for keeping us safe that way.
You're absolutely welcome. We were
And-
not
and-
lost at all.
Bastion is like rolling with the conversation, but he kind of gets that something is up just by how she's looking at Bull and how he's reacting.
Bull's going along with it, but he's just kind of like, we fought like one Druffalo and ate it.
But tell them how we fought it. Tell them how we fought it.
How'd you fight the
Well, no, I'm
Druffalo?
telling Bull to tell you how we fought it.
Bull.
The worst, Kelly.
And Bull's just like, I grabbed it by its horns, which let me tell you, as someone with horns, was very strange.
No, I meant the other thing.
What other thing? I'm talking about the Druffalo.
Wait, are you going back to? Did anybody ride the Druffalo or try to?
I did think that it would have been worth the attempt. But I was also very hungry.
So nobody rode the Druffalo.
No.
Okay.
Have you seen a Druffalo?
I would like to take this opportunity to let chat know that Kelly has not seen a Druffalo.
I know,
But-
Bull was asking Bastien.
And I'll take the opportunity to say that I've never seen a Druffalo, so I've got no idea what we're talking about.
A Druffalo.
I'm imagining like one of those fluffy Highland cows.
Something like that, yeah.
Sort of. Kind of. But Druffalos are rather large creatures.
Okay, let's find Google.
Oh,
They're
and what
giant
about that
buffalo.
other? Yeah, what about
They're
that
giant
other
buffalo
fight?
with claws. They have claws.
And they have better armor than everyone in the party when you run across them in the game.
This is true.
So that is a picture of a Druffalo. Basically, maybe I could have totally rode the Druffalo, and for the sake of just comedic timing, yes, you absolutely rode this Druffalo until Bull caught it by the horns.
And then tell them about the bandits.
Bandits.
Mm-hmm.
Bandits? And Bull's just like, yeah, the bandits
Yep.
that we took out so many bandits.
We did. We have a super special secret move now. And you all are going to be very impressed when you see it. That's all I'm going to say.
Remember, we can't do that move inside. We'll break things.
Mostly me.
Yes, mostly you, but also the chandeliers.
Well, I mean, they're kind of fake anyway.
They're metal and lead glass. They're not fake.
They could be shinier.
You could also get stuck in one 20 feet up.
But then you would have to come get me.
I'm tall. I'm not that tall.
Good point. Anyway, what did you guys do?
Well,
Hey, Harold, what did you do?
I'll be in my bunk.
Wait, in your bunk?
Wait, what?
Harold is going to his quarters. He's expecting to be in trouble. He would rather not stay close to Fenris for a while, or Hawk. He acted like an idiot, and now he feels bad about it. So he cuts the conversation short with Mavia, and says, "I'll be in my quarters."
No, oh, I mean, okay, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Don't be sociable or, say hi because, I was missing suddenly and
Hi.
no one seemed concerned apparently.
You were with Bull.
How did you know I was with Bull? What if I had been abducted and he had to chase after me, but he never found me?
then we wouldn't be here talking to you.
Shush!
But
I'm
who
giving a
would have abducted
hypothetical.
you in Crestwood?
Listen, you don't get to change my hypothetical.
I get to seriously question your hypothetical.
No, you don't. You don't get to question anything.
Well, then we did things. We investigated. We found stuff about Enders, and I did something that in hindsight might not have been the best thing. And I will.
And you had nightmares.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. Mavia doesn't need to know about my nightmares.
Mavia would like to do whatever is the equivalent of an insight check on Harold.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me check your character sheet really quick.
Mavia, you're too
Searching.
precious. You don't want to know these things.
Searching under perception would be that choice.
I have the book open. I can tell you if there's like a...
Oh boy.
It's not a talent, it's a specialization, right?
Yes. And that's where the I just looked at Mavia's
No,
sheet,
it's a
but I
focus,
couldn't-
not a specialization.
A focus. Oh, that's why.
Words are hard.
Yeah.
Words are difficult.
Yeah, perception, there's empathy,
I don't got that.
discerning the feelings and emotions of others.
Maybe it might have that. I mean, she'll do whatever. She's gonna give him the stare and see if she can discern things.
I mean, I think we've pretty much established that Harold is not the best liar.
Oh yeah, and you're already like, I messed up. I'm not even a whole day and I messed up.
Yeah. So you can see that there's a lot of conflicting emotions in Harold, and that he would like to talk about stuff, but he at the same time doesn't want to.
Maybe it kind of like cocks her head to the side and looks at Harold and looks at the ceiling and thinks about his last statement about how he did some things he shouldn't have. And then she's going to kind of look back at him with her eyes narrowed. And she's going to say, just for future reference, Harold, it's not nice to refer to people as things.
I don't regret doing whoever I did. I regret doing something I did. That's different.
I mean, that's between the two of you, you know. You should have worked that out in advance. You have to have these discussions. It's important.
And Harold will just leave muttering something about safe words.
Well, so
Welcome to
Harold.
my life where I just discovered I don't have anything that resembles insight. That's great. Oops.
Wow, this is going to
Oops.
be
I
interesting.
mean, you can just roll perception without
Just roll
focus.
perception. Did you do this before Harold like scurried away?
Me percepting?
Yes.
Let me percept first. 16.
You pick up, well, Harold, on a 16, what would maybe pick up, instead of me narrating that, what would maybe a pick up from you on a 16 perception?
She would pick up that. You know the feeling that you have when like your holiday or vacation or whatever has been going great, and then the very last day something shitty happened? You know that mood you're in when that, like, right after that happens and you sort of almost regret your whole vacation because of that?
Is it kind of like when you have a whole degree in something and you have a gig coming up and then it gets canceled because of a pandemic?
Kind of the same thing.
Okay, got it.
So basically,
yeah, she
How
gets
most
it.
of us-
He feels remorse. But remorse that he shouldn't necessarily feel. Like, he's conflicted about whether or not he should feel remorse, but he feels remorseful. He probably needs to go hug a pillow or something.
Or something.
oh,
I mean,
well,
you could just drink it off, Harold. It's always worked for me.
Oh, fuck it. Why not?
I
so are
should
you gonna
probably
hang
let
out
you
and
know it
drink?
doesn't. I mean, by work, I mean I forget for a little bit and I remember the next day, but for a little bit, everything's fine. There's bacon.
Oh my god, you're in this bacon.
Bacon's not a
You-
drink.
There is
No, it goes good with the
There's
drink.
drinks with bacon in it. Don't even sass me.
I was gonna say, isn't there like bacon maple whiskey?
There is
Really?
bacon maple whiskey. There's also a cocktail you can serve that it's a whiskey cocktail and they have candied bacon that goes in it.
Or you can put bacon in your Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
We call them bloody
You have
Caesars.
options.
There
A
are
Bloody Mary.
options.
There are options. So, is Harold gonna retreat to his room, or is he gonna stay and drink?
He's gonna stay and drink. Look,
Okay.
there's peer pressure. And he's gonna
Wow,
succumb to peer pressure.
nice. So while Harold is succumbing to peer pressure with the others, let's see what Verisa and Zevran are doing. And then Zelanis was coming behind Verisa, correct?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, Verisa, you have gone in and gone straight to basically the top floor of Skyhold, in game where Liliana would normally be, but this is where Zevran has taken root and roost. And he is busy working on reports when you come up the stairs to find him.
She would just kind of knock lightly on the door if it's open.
There's no door.
No.
It's just stairs up.
Yeah, it's just stairs up. It's like the door. It's not like a door frame. It just is. And I don't know. She just kind of appears there and she goes,
Yeah. He looks up. He's like, "Come in, come in."
All right. What do you need? Oh no, that's actually the wrong place. Sorry.
I was like,
It's been a day. It's been a day and a night and a day. Anders is tracking towards Skyhold, at least last count.
and that makes him pause as he's writing, and he looks up at you. Towards Skyhold. And where did you find this out?
The trail. He tracked him from the Warden way station outside of Crestwood, got about 3/4 of the way here, had turned back for the night, came back the next morning. He was on his way here, and the Lord Inquisitor sent me ahead.
I will send some scouts. Do you have anything of his? Do you have anything?
Fenris managed to retrieve that pillow of his, and I have a piece of mantle, I assume. That's what we found.
All right. Leave what you have here and tell me exactly what you found. So Zevran like slides what he was writing on aside and starts getting fresh paper or parchment and is giving you very rapt attention. He's staring you very intently. And he's waiting. So it's like professional yet very intrigued by what Verisa is going to tell him.
She kind of cracks her neck, and then proceeds to give him extremely detailed, like, this is how far out, this is where they were, this is how long the track was, this is where the trail went off this way. You could see the trail like going for an extra, 3/4 of a mile.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisitor requested instead of continuing, I returned here. And she's like very professional in giving that information.
All right. So he jots that down and he kind of like sits there and he thinks for a bit. Then he gets up and starts writing on small pieces of parchment and tying them to some of the ravens that are up there and sending them on their way. And then once he's done, he sits down and he stares at you. You're a good tracker.
It's one of my skills.
And he just arches an eyebrow at that. Sorry. Dalish, yes?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Nowhere that it currently exists anymore.
'Tis the way of the Dalish. Often clans and tribes are shooed away or frightened away or captured by humans before they can get a foothold anywhere. What was your clan name?
Side note, Solanas, did we ever discuss that?
No.
I mean,
we did
you
not.
can be cagey about it if you wish.
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Well, there is no clan, therefore there is no name.
He just gives you a kind of a knowing, I get this. You know that I'm a crow, yes?
Yes, rather intriguing. I do have wonders.
Oh, do you?
Is it true that you can be as quiet as we can?
And he smiles. Who's we?
There
And
than
Zalanas
us.
appears behind him, not making a sound. No, just kidding. He can't do that. Carry on.
I was like, that you would get stabbed for your trouble.
Yeah.
Why is Janio playing a new character? Well,
About that.
She would just smirk and say, "Vir Banal Ross."
yes, we are trained for such things in the crows. What else are you curious about? And he's just like, He's staring at you kind of like he's trying to figure you out, but not be too obvious about it.
I always have professional curiosities when I meet one who's of your kind.
Well, since we're not going anywhere anytime soon, and I'm sure that the Inquisitor is probably drawn into meeting after meeting upon returning, we can take a moment to indulge the curiosity.
Ah, indulging is good.
And he waves at a sideboard. If you would like, you can help yourself.
I'll be happy to. I loaned my flask to someone else and they haven't returned it yet. It's quite rude of them. And she kind of pour herself a glass and then pour one for Zevran as well and kind of like offer it at him.
He takes it and taps his glass to yours. So tell me, what is it you would like to know?
I've just it's very rare that I meet someone who is good at killing as I am, and I wonder about these things.
He just smiles at you. So when did you learn to kill?
Shem or regular?
No, just in general.
I am a hunter.
To kill people.
They left me alive after the fact and they didn't make sure I was dead. That was their first mistake.
Humans, I take it.
Yes. Second mistake was leaving a window open.
A rough entry into having to fight your way to freedom.
No. It's just killing more predators that are a threat.
And he just raises his glass and tips it at you before taking a sip.
She'd do the same.
Me? The crows bought me when I was 7. And that's all I've known since.
So good at your job, then.
If I wasn't good, I'd be dead.
Like I said, good at your job.
Yes.
So then the question is, do we play the game?
The game is in what they do in Orlais.
Not that one.
The age-old game that I think our friends Harold and Fenris are playing then.
One they played, although you should be aware that the champion overheard them and was a mite displeased.
Hawk has always been ill-tempered. He'll get over it.
I think he's taking it a little badly.
I'll talk to him after dinner. He'll be okay. We'll share some brandy. He'll be fine. I can usually talk sense into him if Fenris is the cause of his usual temper tantrums.
It was public with this one. I wish you luck in proving that one.
We'll see. I'll give him a chance to cool off and have dinner, and we can check in under the guise of needing a report. And if it's true that Anders is on his way here, I'll need to talk to him anyway.
By all accounts, I can't guarantee this is his final destination, but this is his track and heading.
Fair enough, fair enough. And he waves you on to see if you have any other questions.
She'll say purely in slightly, she'll kind of look at Zevran and say, well, you know where to find me if you need me.
True. I'd be a poor spy master if I didn't.
Hmm. Out of curiosity, how, it'll be interesting to see if you can sneak around well enough that I won't notice you.
He just smiles and says nothing, takes another sip of his drink. Kind of like, oh, you've got fire. I like you. He doesn't say it, but he's giving you that look.
Yep. She'd take another sip of her drink and just kind of like, the ball's in his court now kind of thing.
So
in
while...
that, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
We both had the idea. So in that moment of these two staring at each other, playing some kind of game, Zalanis walks in. Varisa, I was told that you were. Oh,
Keeper, this is Zevran. He is one of the crows who works here. Or he is the master of the crows who work here.
And
what?
he just...
Sorry, who? What?
Sorry.
Yes, of course. I was here to. Zalanis, it's very nice to meet you.
He raises his glass at you. He's like, come sit. Your clanmate was just grilling me, shall we say.
Varisa. Oh, asking you questions. Yes, of course.
Zalanis, I have not yet ever devolved that far. No. Cooking live individuals doesn't work very well. There's lots of reasons why it doesn't.
And Zevran is doing the... I meant asking me questions.
Of course. It has been a long journey for us, but I assume that Varisa here has appraised you of the situation with Anders.
Yes, she gave me her report. I've got some agents looking into that, and she was just indulging her curiosity about the Master of Crows. And who might you be beside a very unsubtle young man?
I have been accused of many things. Being subtle is, I just ask Varisa, not one of them. I am Zalanis, I suppose the keeper of our clan of two.
Ah, that explains her answer.
Unless I am mistaken, you too are elven in heritage, but I don't believe you are of the Dalish clans.
And his gaze hardens just a bit and he stares down at you. My mother was Dalish.
Understood. You have made quite a life for yourself here among the Inquisition.
Oh, this is new. This is nothing compared to what I've done before.
We all have things that we have done before, but yet we all find ourselves here in the service of the Inquisitor.
I hear one of your members been in greater service than the others.
Yes, I hear that too. I suppose we all find comfort where we can find it.
That's one way to phrase it.
Zevran just gives you a cheeky little grin and he nods toward the sideboard. Please help yourself. We might as well.
I think I will. Yes.
So as Zalanis is helping himself to a drink, you hear the pounding of footsteps up the stairs. What do either of you do? Zevran seems very unconcerned by this, by the way.
Can I gauge who it is coming up the stairs?
Considering you're a stranger to Skyhold and you haven't been traveling together that long, you'd have to make a really high roll. But you could try.
Okay. I'm gonna try that perception perception hearing thing. 20.
Holy
Oh,
hell.
shit.
Holy hell.
Well, you discover the reason that Zevran is not concerned at all at the pounding of footsteps up the stairs is because it is Cullen, who is looking for Zevran to inform him of the fact that the mayor of Crestwood has been apprehended.
Oh, Zalanis is up out of his seat in a flash.
Oh, boy.
Staff gripped tightly.
And
Sort of
Cullen's-
before he realizes. Yeah, go ahead.
How tightly is his staff gripped?
All
because I
right,
just sang a
Mavia.
song about that.
You weren't even there.
Came out of my mouth before I could. No, stop talking.
You're just giving it to me at this point. You're
Wow.
just handing me the puns on a plate. I mean,
Wow.
thank you for the birthday present,
Wow.
but it's a week late.
You're so I know.
Wow.
Oh, it's sitting over
Um,
the. It doesn't matter. You'll get it eventually.
So after Cullen has like delivered we found the mayor of Crestwood. Oh, you have company, and then he notices Zalanis with your staff in hand, kind of, Sir Mage, does the mayor of Crestwood owe you an apology and recompense as well?
Now that it's been a half a second, Zalanis sort of is able to take a deep breath and compose himself and loosen his grip and just say, no, I saw what atrocities that man committed against his own people. I have a personal interest in what becomes of him.
And Zevran is eyeing, or Zevran, Cullen is staring at you because Cullen and mages don't mix, as anyone knows. Before the not breaking the fourth wall part of this,
Right.
he is kind of like, his hand is not so subtly kind of going toward the hilt of his sword, like, oh, there's an angry mage. This is not going to go well.
And I think at that point, Verisa just stands up because she'd been sitting and relatively calm and drinking.
Yeah.
Stands up, puts the glass down on Zevran's desk, kind of makes eye contact with him briefly for a moment, and then walks over and stands in front of Zalanis and looks at Cullen. And just waits.
And now he's like, I was just coming to give a report. What the hell? And his hand is like, he's not obviously a threat, but he's not like subtle either.
Right.
Um,
Zalanis may be oblivious to certain matters, but he's not
Yeah.
stupid. So,
Right.
seeing and also he knows at this point he's been around Skyhold long enough and with Fenris long enough that he knows who Cullen is. So,
yeah.
the staff will get lowered. That it'll just be casually, in my hand because I don't know where else to put it, but just by
That
my side.
floating
And,
clip on your back.
yeah, exactly,
was there.
exactly.
So Cullen, when he notices you putting your staff away, ding, he lowers his hands. He's like, well, seeing as how you are not a member of the Inquisition per se, we will take justice into the Inquisitor's hands once the mayor has been properly put in a cell and Fenris has had a chance to be informed of what exactly he's done and what his options are.
Did you find his compatriot?
His compatriot, no, we only found the mayor, who surprisingly did not fight back. He came along willingly.
So he admits and is aware of what he has done. That is something.
Well, he kept going on about notes he'd left and confession that he'd given the Lord Inquisitor. So,
We found it. Though a
Ah.
confession does not absolve him of his sins.
no absolution at all. From what I understand, our Lord Inquisitor was not a happy man once he found out what exactly the mayor had done. And he should find out that we have the mayor just about now. And if you listen carefully, you may hear his displeasure at this. He's known to have a temper. And he just gives Zevran a polite nod. I'll see you in the war room. We should convene there in about a half hour. And he gives Verisa and Zalanis a respectful nod and leaves a little quick more quickly than you think a grown man in full plate that is trained to be a Templar should when confronted with a possibly angry mage. Um,
I mean,
Co-
it's Cullen.
it's Cullen, and he has a history. He also will run from any mage who shows any kind of an interest in him. And with the capture of the mayor of Crestwood, we are going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we will have the trial of the mayor of Crestwood before we get into shenanigans with our false warden and Harold having his conversation post judgment. So that's going to put Fenris in a great mood for you, Harold.
You know, we don't really have to.
We could, and then I really would like to know what Bastian thinks of Fenris's brand of justice. But that can wait for a break. Please go hydrate, get a snack, get some water, or get a beverage of your choice. Please be responsible wherever you may live. I'll be back in a few minutes. Everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
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 I'm telling a
Oh.
story about pie. I'm
Hello.
sure you can all understand. So Deirdre Verisa brought me two pies on my birthday that she homemade, and she left them on my doorstep and then backed away so she could wave at me when I opened the door. But then my other friend bought me a bread subscription to Zingerman's in Michigan, and I got a 1.5 pound loaf of bread yesterday, and I am perfectly fine with the way my friends see me. It's just
Yes.
food placates her, and it's true.
Nice. Yeah, you'll have to tell Wing Lioness about the bread subscription in chat. While the mayor of Crestwood is getting tried by our Fenquisitor. Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you got some
OMG, Snark
hydration.
Knight's there. Do you have
Yes.
wine, Snark Knight?
I know a wild Snark Knight has appeared. I summoned you. I talked about you in the beginning of the show, and now you're here. So for those that are just coming in, if you came in during the break, we ended before the break with Cullen coming to tell Zevran, the Inquisition spymaster, that the mayor of Crestwood had been found and he needs to be tried. So it's been about a half hour in their game. And Fenris is on his throne. For the sake of argument, we'll say he has the Kirkwall throne, which is that ridiculous black and white monstrosity that looks like it's about 10 feet tall in the game. And he is there and he looks really unhappy about this because he didn't even get a chance to have dinner or a drink. Basically, he got cleaned up and put on nice clothes and was dragged down to try this dude. So he is real unhappy. Where are you all positioned around watching the mayor of Crestwood be brought in?
I mean, I am front row on the center aisle, right by as close as I can get without, being completely inappropriately in the middle of the trial.
Okay.
Where?
So go ahead.
Where's Bull standing?
Because Bull is a large man, he is kind of in the middle between the door that leads up to the Inquisitor's quarters, and I forget on that side of the room if it goes up to, I know it goes to the rotunda on one side and it goes to where Dorian normally is on the other side. So he's in between two doorways, leaned against with his axe is like kind of casually leaning next to him, and he's very interested in what happens with the mayor of Crestwood.
Mavia is sitting on his shoulder. She's just
like a parrot.
Kind of like a parrot, yes.
Okay.
She's taking notes.
All right. Bastian.
Like he doesn't have a choice at this point that she has decided they are best friends. Mostly because he's the only one who hasn't tried to get out of a conversation with her.
Wow. Bastian, Verisa, where are you all at?
Go for it.
Verisa has found a place along the wall where she can keep an eye on the trial and an eye on Zalanis, because he had a very emotional reaction and she wants to make sure that if she has to stop him from doing something stupid.
I'm a grown-up, I don't need to keep an eye on me.
Prove it.
Wow.
Probably not gonna lie to you.
Also, it's her job. She takes her job seriously, so she's kind of standing along the wall, kind of in the shadow, eye on Zalanis, eye on the trial if she needs to intervene.
Okay.
And stop Zalanis from doing something.
Doing something silly. All right. And then Blackwall and Loghain are on the other side. They're standing. There's not really a good place to. It's not like a modern day courtroom where you can sit and watch proceedings. So Loghain and Blackwall are watching. They're kind of shoulder to shoulder, talking to each other. And Harold is where?
Harold is curious about seeing Fenris in action.
Thought you saw that last week.
No,
I walked into that one. To see
Sure,
Fenris in
okay.
his role as the Lord Inquisitor. But he doesn't want to distract Fenris, and he is also still feeling remorseful for pissing Fenris off during the, or at least making him disappointed. So he would hang back a bit, maybe like in the middle of the crowd, but in a spot where he could see like the action happening.
So he's in the room where it happens.
He is in the room where it happens.
Okay.
He would see how the sausage is made, but he saw enough of sausages already.
I think he saw that last week too.
Please don't ruin sausage for me.
It wasn't like that.
Girl, if that ruined sausage for you.
It's a good thing I like sausage patties. Anyway, let's just go ahead with this.
If you got him Fenris icons, Fenris emotes in the chat. So Cullen is standing up there to the right of Fenris, you know, very much like ready to act as executioner if need be. Josephine is over to the left with her clipboard forever and ever. Her and that damn candle that never burned down, which bothered me the whole time I played the game, but that's beside the point.
And then, so true.
That fucking candle. And then the crowd parts a little bit, and you see the mayor being dragged down the aisle by Inquisition guards. And he surprisingly, it doesn't look terrified. He doesn't look scared to be brought in judgment before the Inquisition. And he's being dragged. He's not like forced to walk, but he's not like proud and with his head up like other prisoners that have come before Fenris. Josephine comes forward and she reads off the crimes of Mayor Gregory Dedrick so that other people know what's happening. Mayor Dedrick, you are brought before the Inquisition for crimes against the residents of Old Crestwood. We have your own signed confession given to the Inquisitor that you drowned members of your own community to save them from the Blight. Without knowing for sure if they were infected, if they'd come in contact with Darkspawn, you murdered your own kinsmen and constituents, and you have not argued or pled against this judgment. Before the Inquisitor pronounces what he wishes to do with you, do you have anything to say? And he just shakes his head and hangs it. And one of the Inquisition guards kind of like boots him in the back and forces him to his knees. Because when people hear what he's done, it's like when you hear someone has done a horrible, horrible crime. And you're like, oh no, you should go under the jail. That's how they're all looking at him.
Are we saying that in this world, politicians are actually held responsible for their actions? Maybe.
At least in this case, yes.
This one's gonna be.
This one's gonna be. I'm curious to see what Zalanis does, because you're a little fiery.
Trying real hard to keep quiet.
I mean, remember, it's not like a wedding where you can be like, I forbid this. But if you, shall we say, if you would like to intervene, my whispers are open to you, Zalanis.
I want to see what Fenris pronounces first, and then we'll go from there.
So Fenris leans forward, and he's got like. So Harold, you've seen Fenris with this look before, when he's been angry, disappointed, tired, and very world weary. The conversations you've had about him resenting being the Inquisitor are in the front of your mind as you watch him. He's scowling, and then he leans back, kind of almost like if it was more casual, like if you're at the tavern. But he leans back and he stares Dedrick down. You have a few options. I will be honest and say I'm leaning toward one more than the others. Since you took matters into your own hands regarding the Blight, we could give you to the Grey Wardens. They're short on recruits these days. We could exile you, give you a week of provisions, maybe a pair of boots and set you on your way. And note that you are to be given no aid and no succor by anyone should you come across them, and see how long you last in the wilds. I could just kill you, but a clean death for you would be cheating those people that you terrified and drowned. Or we could pack you off to Ferelden. King Alistair would not be happy with you. You don't get a choice in what I choose to do. That's what I'm thinking. But before I make a final decision, what say the court and my advisors? And he looks to Harold and he looks to the rest of you, the party, because you were there with him when he read this terrible pronouncement of what the mayor had done. And he especially gives Dorian and Cullen a very long stare, and then turns to Harold and Logain. And Blackwall, but specifically Logain and you, Harold. What say you about forcing him to join the Wardens?
Before Harold says anything, I would like to know, Tanya, out of game, how old does the mayor look to be?
The mayor looks to be probably late no, that's too young for what he would have done and seen in this time. Early 40s, but
okay,
he's not aged well.
Okay, but it's not like he's 70 years old or something like that.
No, he would be a middle-aged human.
Okay, so he could still be of use for the Wardens for a few years.
A few, I mean, assuming he survives the joining.
Yeah, I'm going with like the best ending for him. I don't know about you, Logain. We can always welcome new recruits, and if he doesn't survive the joining, then you'll have one of your other options checked off your list.
And he nods.
My Lord Inquisitor.
Yes, Zalanis.
The only thing worse than genocide against a group of innocent people is genocide against a group of innocent people perpetrated by the one who was meant to lead and protect them. This man deserves nothing but the end that his people suffered at his hands.
So do you suggest we lock him in a tower and drown him as he did to his people?
Maybe
for that
would
purpose,
actually...
I'm sure we can find a way.
Now everyone's talking. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Just wait, go ahead, Verisa.
And I think Verisa kind of steps slightly away from the wall and says, for that purpose, I'm sure we can find a beer barrel in that case.
A beer barrel will take too long.
Mavia would actually speak up, which would probably be mildly surprising because, you know, serious things aren't exactly her purview. She would look first at Verisa and say, well, that would just ruin the beer. And then she would look at the tribunal and kind of sigh and say, I don't think he deserves even the mercy that you're offering him, because he might survive. He doesn't deserve to survive. But we don't deserve to be like him. So I think that his sentence should be death, but I think it should be a quick one, because no one deserves to die slowly.
Fenris scowls at that, and he doesn't growl or anything, but he's unhappy with the idea of a clean death for someone who drowned half of his town.
So is Zalanis.
And he leans forward and focuses on Mavia. So you're suggesting we give him mercy where he gave the people of Old Crestwood none? The people who in their beds felt the waters of the dam rise over them when they'd probably done nothing. Just the fear of the blight made him kill how many? But yet you advocate for a quick and clean death?
Mavia would hop down from Bull's shoulder and make her way up whatever I guess is like the center aisle.
Yeah, center aisle. I
Towards-
mean, the dais isn't very high, so it's not like she has to jump or anything.
Towards the judges, and she'll stand right in front of Fenris. And you can see, like, if anybody's looking close enough, because she's got her hands behind her back, you can see that her hands are shaking. No. He doesn't deserve mercy. But we don't deserve to be like him.
And Fenris he leans down. He's like, you're far too late for that. My hands are far bloodier than his, but for a better cause. I've never drowned an innocent. I've never murdered groups like he has. And he steps back and takes his throne again, and he looks to the others, waiting to see what you think, because he is not happy with Mavia in that moment. And he knows what you're saying, but he's so furious about what the mayor did. He's also not being very logical in that moment.
I have to tell you, I've seen what it's like and what's left when people die slowly because other people thought they deserved to. I don't want to be like that.
Well,
and I don't think you deserve to be either.
And he nods. He's like, your point is taken under consideration. Because it would not be your hand that is bloodied if that is my decision. There are options here.
I helped catch him. So I would be responsible.
And Fenris he just raises an eyebrow with,
listen, this is taking a lot of her guts.
I know, but the fact that she just told a blatant.
No, she helped investigate.
She helped investigate, but she did not actually help catch him.
Scouts.
I know.
So the fact that you go ahead, Versa.
No. It's.
I probably should have said I helped investigate instead of I helped catch him, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, you said it now.
I know. I'm not taking it back. I made the mistake, so.
Yeah.
Verisa steps forward again and slightly purposely tries to draw Fenris's attention to her.
Okay. All right.
And says, you have a waterfall and there's a barrel.
True.
Why are we continuing this conversation? It's easy and done.
Because I'm not a tyrant and I would hear the counsel of those present before I make a decision. His death is an option, but I would like to know, especially from those here assembled. So no one advocates for packing him off to Ferelden.
I don't know much about King Alistair. I don't know what would become of him. Would he just rot in a prison for the rest of his life?
Don't forget the King Alistair is sympathetic to the Inquisition, and he did serve as a warden during the Blight, and he is still a warden. And hearing what the mayor has done would not do him any favors. So it could be a clean death, it could be a quick death, or it could be a protracted death in the cell in Ferelden, and everyone will forget the mayor ever existed.
Bastion is gonna step forward and he's just gonna address everybody and say, "My Lord Inquisitor, I don't think a quick death is ideal in this situation. This man committed a horrible crime. Perhaps he should be forced to face what it was that he feared most when he took the lives of his people, and he should face what the wardens do when one joins their ranks. If he does survive by whatever stroke of luck, then he then must be faced with a life of hunting down the Darkspawn and fighting the Blight. And if he does not survive it, then he does not."
And Fenris looks to Loghain. Loghain, without giving away secrets and oaths of the wardens, is that what he'd do as one of yours, or would he get to live out his life with his sins forgiven?
Oh, man. Now I gotta play the other side of this because obviously Loghain's gonna talk about his sins being forgiven. It's Loghain.
Well, this is what role-playing's about, my friend.
Okay, all right, here we go. My Lord Inquisitor, as you well know, those that complete the joining, survive, and take the grey, live out their lives as wardens. And that which they did before matters not. It is their service to the realm. It is their fight against the Darkspawn that matters going forward.
Duly noted. Thank you. And he looks around to see if anyone else has anything to say before he makes a decision. Any other words from anyone else? And he stares at each one of you, waiting to see what you think. If there's any final words before he pronounces judgment.
I have an alternative proposition.
Speak up.
The people that he killed.
Yes.
Do they have any families left?
No. The people left in New Crestwood, or what we just now know as Crestwood, are people who came after he wiped most of the others out after the Blight. There may be a handful here and there, but from what I understand, they just simply don't talk of what happened. They forget that old Crestwood existed.
Because honestly, I can talk as much as I want about, how we should just make it quick for him. But the best justice in this case would be to give him to the families.
For what it's worth, when Fenris mentions that the people of New Crestwood just do their best to forget that Old Crestwood ever existed, Zalanis takes a half step forward before, and staff gripped before he catches himself and settles back to where he was.
And Fenris notices, but he doesn't react. And he wants to say something that would probably be terrible and condescending to Mavia and not right for the moment. And
maybe his face, just to kind of describe, because I mean, I know Tanya knows the whole backstory, not everybody does. Maybe his face is the face of somebody who, if she was given the chance that these people would be given, it would be not merciful. And it would take a while.
And he knows that look. He's seen it in the mirror often enough. However, he has to act as the Inquisitor would, not what Fenris would want. And he just gives you a respectful half bow because he knows what you're trying to do and he admires that for the moment before he has to be Lord High Inquisitor and pass judgment on this atrocity that he's done. And he leans back and steeples his fingers together and stares down the mayor, who's in chains, head finally up to see what his punishment is. Cullen has been standing there, hand on the hilt of his sword the whole time, in case anything jumps off. It doesn't. And finally, Fenris looks at him. Mayor Dedrick, for the callous and atrocious, slow murders of the people of Crestwood, I sentence you to death. You gave those people no chance to survive, no chance to flee, all based on fear and not knowledge. Yes, the blight ravaged Ferelden and most of Thedas, but that was not your call to make. Their souls and their blood are upon your hands, and I hope wherever you meet them in the void that they take their vengeance upon you. His execution will happen at dawn. And he leans back and he just stares down the mayor and he waits for the guards to start taking him away. And the room is silent, and he wants to wait until the mayor has been taken out before he says anything else, because he has feelings about the protestations and responses to how the mayor should have been handled.
As the guards go to approach the Inquisitor, Zalanis, who is fairly vibrating at this point, steps forward and takes his staff, which is, if you remember, there's that green crystal that often when he casts glows with that green light. It's black right now. And he takes his staff and slams it into the ground. Oh, God. And God's willing, something cool happens.
Verisa steps up. Verisa steps up and puts her arm. Verisa steps up and has been watching Zalanis, and she knows what could go wrong here. And she puts her arm puts her arm in front of him to pull him back. Almost.
And you feel him tauter than he has ever been. I mean, he is barely aware of anything other than himself and the mayor. But as this spell happens, you hear him just at the edge of audible in Elven whisper the name of our lost clan. And he slams his staff into the ground, and the very stones of Skyhold rise up and stab through the the mayor, and I suppose he does technically get to make a Constitution stamina test. To
Oh, the mayor's such a low-level NPC.
yeah, I sort of figured.
Between the vines and stones cracking and going through him, there's not going to be a lot of choices to make here. So I wasn't going to make you roll for it. It was going to be more of a dramatic moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just and you can see where the staff struck the stone. There's sort of a little black mark around there that travels up and to the mayor, where the stones have come up and impaled him with this Wrath of the Elven spell.
And Verisa comes around so that she's standing in front of Zalanis and looks him dead in the eye and says, Keeper, this is why you have hunters. Remember?
He comes to his senses enough to understand what you're saying to him, but he shakes you off and just in Elven and sort of under his breath says to you, you had your nope, wrong voice. You had your chance at revenge. This is as good as I will ever get.
Vilban Ras, Keeper. That is my path, not yours.
They sort of stare at each other for a moment. And eventually the crystal clears back to green and the staff lowers to Zalanis' side. And unless he objects, Zalanis will nod at Fenris and walk out of the hall.
Fenris doesn't object, although he is surprised. He would not have thought you capable of that from what he's seen so far.
Neither would have Zalanis, to be honest, until the moment that it happened.
And he holds his arm up because Cullen was about to come try and grab you.
Sure.
Because you've just done some powerful magic in front of the ex-Templar commander. But Fenris just holds his arm up. It's like, no, he was going to die anyway. Now someone just has to clean marks off the stone. And other things. He nods to Josephine. Have the hall cleared and closed off until this is taken care of. And as he lets Zalanis leave because he knows a little too well how you feel. And he lets that go. And he looks to Harold. And he looks to Bastion. And he looks to all of you. We can take dinner elsewhere and discuss this. I trust that you will have as good of an evening as you can. I will see you in the tavern in a couple hours. And he gives maybe a very long stare and bows to her.
I just whispered you. She is gone.
Oh, she left?
She is not there.
Well, he goes to do so, and it looks like he catches that you're not there. So he bows, and it looks like he's giving Bull like a bow, but he doesn't cotton on that he realizes you're out of there. And he just plays it off. He doesn't make a big deal out of it because he realizes you stood up to him, and that took a lot. And he waves to Logan and Harold. If you would come with me, please. Are you coming with him? Harold and Logan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
I
Logan
wasn't
will
muted.
definitely go with him.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Verisa doesn't follow Zalanis. She waits and she's staring at Cullen to see what he does. You know, she knows that Fenris stopped him, but she's still keeping an eye on that.
Cullen he never drew his sword, but he He's staring at the ground and he has a look of remembered terror that he doesn't mask fast enough. For those that are still in the hall and would have seen this. So Verisa can make of that what she like, as well as Bastion. Because I have a feeling all of you probably will have many thoughts and feelings after the show is over. Sebastian, what are you doing?
Once Fenris says he's gonna meet us in the tavern later, Bastion is just gonna turn around and walk out.
Okay.
Kind of scowling, kind of angry, but not really sure what to make of the whole thing. Just leave.
And Verisa's gonna walk out and then disappear ish.
You go.
She's a sneaky. She goes a sneaky stabby bitch. She has some question. She needs to follow through on some things with that conversation with Logain and Harold about one Blackwall, because she was there for that conversation in the first part, but she's going to disappear first.
So you're gonna sneak and try to follow. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So while Bastion wanders off, Faris is being sneaky. Mavia has gone poof. And Zalanis is off deep in his feelings.
Deep in his feelings.
deep in his feelings. Hey, a stream cat. Sir Pounce has appeared on stream.
Kitty. See, Simon knows Ginger is the best.
Oh,
Sir Pounce wants to speak.
He does.
You want to say a few words? You want to say a few words, Kitan?
Oh, Sir
The
Pounce.
way
wants to
Simon says
join us.
kitten is like the best thing in the world. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir Pounce has joined the party.
He's my nug.
No, Anders' cat looks just like that, actually. When we do hear about Sir Pounce. So while Sir Pounce apparently has appeared now, that is your sign that Anders is nearby. Fenris has led Logain and Harold up to his quarters, and he just goes right to the liquor cabinet because it's been a day and a half.
Mm-hmm. He
He didn't expect that. He thought he would just wake up tomorrow and cut the dude's head off and go about his day, but there we go. And he just like waves at the decanter, help yourself. And he like sits on his desk. He doesn't even sit in the chair. He pulls a creme and sits on the desk. And he's like, well, that happened. That's all you can say.
I don't know the. Nope. Damn it.
What are you looking for?
That was Zalanis' voice. Fuck me.
And this is why I don't do voices.
I'm usually better than this, but this coffee is
The coffee?
the coffee's additives. Anyway, I don't know the mage as well as you do, but I wasn't entirely convinced he had anything like that quite in him.
I certainly didn't think he had that in him. He didn't strike me as the kind to possess that kind of anger. But he is a keeper and a mage, so I'm not entirely surprised. It was surprising considering he'd never heard of these people of Crestwood. And his ire to fuel that spell was a lot.
And it was. I imagine there is more to that story. Far be it from me to advise you in affairs of your own expedition, Fenris, but you might think to ask him.
Oh, I do plan to talk to him once he's had a chance to sit and think and calm himself, because I know that rage. I know it very, very well. That is the rage that kept me free and kept me running from Tevinter. And he gives Harold a sly look. I believe Harold knows all about that.
Hence why I didn't feel like intervening when Zalanis cast the spell. I think I understand where it came from.
We both know where it came from. And he gives Logain a look. And I dare say you, former Terran Mektir, know exactly where that came from. Especially if anyone mentions Orlais.
I think we all have reason in our pasts to understand why the Keeper did what he did, even if we don't know the specifics.
Fair. Well, aside from what we just witnessed, I did want to ask you about Warden Blackwall, or is it because both of you have been acting very cagey around him? He's looked like someone kicked his Mabari down a flight of stairs since we found you, Logain, and since Harold joined us. So, is there something I should know about Blackwall? And he's wondering which one of you is going to talk.
Logan for sure knows, right? Because
Oh, yeah,
he can
yeah.
tell,
Yes.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you both know this. And Fenris isn't stupid. He's picked up the way
Right.
you all have
Mhm.
acted around Blackwall. So he's like, okay,
Right.
what's going on?
I mean, Logan's not stupid either, so he's going to give Harold a chance to do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harold says he is he's not an actual Grey Warden. He's more like a recruit, if you will. Or at least he is now. Wasn't when he came to you originally.
And Fenris takes a deep breath. So that's kind of like the last straw after the way the day has gone.
Mm-hmm.
And finishes his drink. And instead of pouring more in a glass, he just grabs the decanter. He's had enough of everyone's shit.
Fear. Yep.
And he just starts pacing from the bed to the desk and the desk to the bed. And he's like, so you mean to tell me this man who came to the Inquisition that we actively recruited as a warden with experience, who was out training recruits when we found him, is not a warden? Is that what you're both telling me?
Aye.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
As far as you're aware.
I don't know where he came from. I don't know who he is. I don't know what his past is like. Or was like. All I know is that I never picked him up as a warden or someone with a darkspawn taint. And I think, Logain, you can say the same.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that man is not now, nor has he ever been, a Grey Warden.
All right. So he's made a fool of the Inquisition and of me, is what you're saying.
Yes, but in the end, none but the three of us, and Logain sort of looks over to Harold to confirm that this is true, know the truth of the situation.
I swore I would not tell anyone.
And Fenris, you know that look you get on your face when that is the last thing you can take in a day? And Harold would have seen him lose his temper like this once or twice, but definitely not Logain. He just pivots on the heel of his foot and pitches this heavy glass decanter over the end of the balcony because he is done. Capital D done. He's already not happy about being the Inquisitor. He saw Dedrick, whatever Zalanis did, because he's never seen magic like that, and that's having spent most of his life in Tevinter. He is not a happy man. And he just like starts swearing in a mix of Tevinter, Trade, and Ander as he just starts pacing the room. And he's donezo. Like, one of you is going to either have to intervene with him, or you could creep out of the room and be like, okay, we're done here. Goodbye.
Harold will motion at Logain to leave.
Okay, now.
Logain, the senior warden in the room, will look at Harold slightly confused. But I guess after a moment, seeing that, I mean, Fenris looks done. Like, does he seem like he wants to continue a conversation about this, or does he need some feelings time too?
He's just hit his limit of. It's been a day of discovery of finding out Anders could be in the vicinity after he's done all this, like, waited like weeks for you all to arrive in Skyhold. To basically go a few miles away and then find out Anders is basically in the backyard, as far as he knows for now. To reconnect with Harold, to deal with Hawk, to have you all bicker like children on the way back to Skyhold, and then have Zalanis become judge, jury, and executioner, as well as...
well, now, to be fair, he waited for the sentence to be pronounced.
Fair. Fair.
Just, but he did.
Barely.
Yeah,
barely.
Truly.
But having Zalanis take that out of his hands, and then to have found that this man that he's recruited since, now out of character, Blackwall joined you when you're still at Haven, so he's been with the Inquisition a while. So he is capital D Dunzo, and being lied to and deceived is a big red flag and issue for him.
Right.
For various and sundry reasons, both canonically and the way I'm playing Fenris. So it's just like, oh, I've been made a fool of. We are going to have words, and that is the last straw I can take for today.
Right. So just to remind Harold of their relative positions in the Wardens, he'll stay for a moment just to sort of watch Fenris's little outburst, and then he will turn to Harold and say, Warden, when the two of you are prepared to have a conversation about the fate of this individual, I expect you to come to me. As now, would Logain be he would be senior warden in Skyhold?
Yes.
In
Well, he's a senior warden. His rank goes where he goes. It's not
right.
Oh, he's a senior warden. I mean, Harold is a warden,
right?
But he's not been around other wardens or in a specific company.
Right. And there aren't any higher ranking wardens at Skyhold that
Warden
he knows
commander.
about anyway.
No. So it'd be warden commander, and there wouldn't be a warden commander of Skyhold. It just he is a senior warden.
Got it. So when the two of you are prepared to have a conversation about next steps, you will come find me.
Of course.
Fenris hears that, and he's like, next step may be his head following that bottle off the balcony. And he goes back to cussing and walking around.
That is, of course, well within your lordship's purview. But should next steps involve the wardens in any way, I am at your service.
And he just waves at you, and he finally sits down on the bed, but he's still angry.
Yeah, Logain will turn on his heel and go for now.
All right. So once you hear the door close, Fenris is just sitting there, like head in his hands, wondering what Harold is going to do. 'Cause he's not sure if you're going to stay, if you're going to try to talk. Because he hasn't forgotten the shenanigans on the road, but that is like the lowest of low hanging fruit right now. He could care less about that. He is between the mayor being executed and that taking out of his hands and then finding out about Blackwall. He is not a happy elf. What will Harold do?
Harold is expecting Fenris to lash out at him at any moment. And he stays silent for a bit, just staring at his feet. And when the, punches or kicks or what have you don't come, he looks back up at Fenris and says, "Is there anything I can do to alleviate your troubles?"
And he just laughs. You know that I'm on edge laugh that you have when you can't take anything else going wrong?
Intimately.
Oh yes.
He's just, can you roll back the near year of deceit of Blackwall? Can you go back an hour and make Zalanis not have another mark in his ledger of whatever that was that he did? Can you? And then he just like looks at his hand and laughs, and it's a little worrying because it's not hysterical, but it's not what you'd expect out of Fenris.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you get rid of this? No, there's nothing you can do.
You know as well as I do that I can't do any of that.
Well, if I was willing to traffic in such things, Dorian could do that, or at least take us back 2 hours, but it involves a lot of power and a lot of pain for me using this mark.
Let's not.
I'm not.
I know it's been a lot lately, and I can't help but feel that you shouldn't have to deal with all of this. And I mean this not as your friend or your lover or however you want to call me. I mean this as just someone from the exterior who's looking into what the Inquisition seems like to me. You have a council that can make those decisions for you about, the mayor and all that stuff. This is added stress that you should not have to bear.
Well, Zalanis took part of that out of my hands, and I know nothing of the wardens other than the little bit Anders could tell me. I knew nothing about being able to sense each other, or honestly much about the calling beyond what you and Loghain have revealed. And he just like at some point he like gets up and just starts pulling armor off, like bits of, like he's not wearing a lot of armor, but he's wearing like pauldron and van braces. He kind of waves at you to keep talking.
Okay. Out of game, I wasn't sure he was wearing armor still or anything. Not that that would have changed my anything that I said, but I thought the moment you set foot in Skyhold, you're in your PJs.
Not PJs, because Fenris probably would remain armored to a point. Not heavily armored. Yes, he's a warrior, but heavy armor would restrict what he could do with his powers.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be more pauldron, van braces, maybe I forget the lower leg covering, the proper name for it.
Leg guards?
Yeah, leg guards, because he wouldn't be walking around totally unarmored, because his years of training as a bodyguard and as a fighter wouldn't leave him, and he would never feel that safe in Skyhold to just be totally unarmored.
Okay.
So he's listening to you, and he's kind of like giving you the carry on, and he's I mean, if you want to try to help him out of armor, but he's in that agitated
I
state.
don't want
Yes,
to approach him
Screws.
just yet. But there would probably be a few steps taken forward from by Harold.
Okay.
Oh, Greaves. Yes, of course. Then Fenris, why don't you leave handling Blackwall to Logan and myself?
I mean, it is a warden issue, but this is also the Inquisition, and he needs to face some justice for what he's done, deceiving us all this time.
But what if he deceived you because, and I am purely talking out of my ass at the moment, but what if he deceived you because he wanted so bad to be a warden? And just couldn't find anyone to do the joining with him?
Out of character, unless he was actually recruited, he probably wouldn't know about the joining, because in game it's kind of secretive of how you actually become a warden.
Oh, okay.
So in character, Fenris just gives you that kind of, even if that's the case, that doesn't make it okay look. And he goes back to pulling the straps out of his van brace and flinging it off to the side, not out the window, thankfully, because the armor took a while to make. But he's not being very careful with his armored pieces. That doesn't make a difference. But you're the warden here. What is it you and Logain could do?
Force him to become a warden.
So he either survives that and becomes a warden in truth, or dies for his sins, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm angry. And I shouldn't make a decision right now. And you shouldn't see me like this. But you're here now, and you were not very subtle in getting Logain to leave.
You know, I thought that after these 2 whole days that we've spent together, Fenris, you of all people would have seen that subtlety is not my strong suit.
Oh, I knew that back in Deventer. I just see you haven't changed.
I'm just an old pair of slippers.
And he tilts his head at you like, the fuck does that mean?
It means that I'm comfy and reliable. I don't know if I heard that
And
somewhere before.
easy to get into?
Yeah, I'd feel comfortable inside or something.
Soft and fluffy?
I mean, that's what...
Funny slippers.
Mavia, what are you doing here?
I'm under the bed. No, I'm not.
I mean, you're short enough, and the Inquisitor's bed can be very tall.
No, thank you very much.
Although Verisa might be sneaking around.
Oh, I
that would
assumed
be-
she's
Because I wouldn't have
over
been
here
able to
or
like
something.
withhold like conversation interjections before now if I was in there.
Oh, God. So, Verisa, have you been sneaking about?
Yep.
You're like, yes, it was me. Does
she-
Verisa... Yes?
Verisa waits until she sees that Fenris has calmed down and that he's willing to listen to what Harold's suggestion is. She very carefully places the decanter next to the door of the balcony because she caught it as it went flying. So it's alcohol. Why would she waste that? And then proceeds to leave. closing the door, making sure to close the doors of the balcony behind her.
So wait, you go in the room past
No,
where they are?
no.
I was like,
No,
that's
she-
bold. Cotton.
No. She oh, that's right. The doors open inwards, don't they?
Yes. I mean, it's either like it's a drop, or you can't, if I'm remembering correctly, if you go to the right, you'll eventually wind up on the floor where Vivian and Dorian are.
Yeah, you can go to the right, and then that's what I was thinking. No, I was thinking that the doors opened. I forgot that the doors opened inward. I thought the doors opened outward, and she was just going to close the doors from outside the balcony.
No.
So she doesn't do that. She just leaves the decanter and leaves.
And so you're going to the right to get back in through. You're going
Yeah,
in through the
over-
outdoor.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm sorry.
and she's gonna try. And she's gonna just. She's
I'm
just
sorry,
gonna.
the image of you just like waltzing in and closing the doors and then going out the front door is
I mean, that's what I thought. When you just was like, "Don't mind me."
you do
If
what
she
you
was
do.
if she was entirely like unseen, she would, but she's not. So she like, I don't have an invisibility cloak. I'm just sneaky. So
I
you
mean,
know,
some of your roles, you might as well have an invisibility cloak. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I've totally derailed this.
no.
Sorry.
She will close. She will leave the bottle very carefully at the side of the door of the balcony and go around and down and through, and then not go and find Zalanis for tonight because she's pretty sure that he needs to calm the fuck down.
Okay. So Harold, as you're talking, and Fenris looks up and notices the decanter is somehow just there on the balcony, and he narrows his eyes. And give me a check to see if you notice that.
Sure. Go 1 perception.
Oh,
Ah!
you
What
notice.
are the odds?
Oh my god. So that's what's your total roll?
That's a
You
4.
actually got ones? Oh my god. You know that Fenris is in the room and that you're in the room. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. And he's listening to you, but he gets up and locks the balcony doors and draws the curtains. Take that as you will.
Oh, I didn't think you were in the mood for anything.
And he gives you the look that I just put in the chat. Yeah. Wow. I like how other people beat me to it. They knew what I was gonna say. It's like, right now I'm in the mood for a very, very hearty meal and a lot more wine. And maybe in the mood for your shenanigans.
Well, I thought about what happened today, and I figured my efforts at maintaining morale were probably not well thought out and should have been done differently. And don't worry, I won't poke the hornet's nest that is Hawk anymore.
I mean, Hawk was the champion. And even before being the champion, he knows how to brawl in the street. I wouldn't suggest you start doing that, because he could have killed you.
Yeah, I have to work on that whole survival instinct thing.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like you. I'd like it if you didn't get killed.
Yeah. I kind of like myself too.
Are you sure? Because the way you've been acting.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, I don't really know. but that's beside the point. The point right now being your mood and how to improve it. And you requested meal and wine, and I can bring you meal and wine.
Yeah, he's like,
And
do that. I'm gonna run a bath.
this is very important, Tanya. Is
Yes.
the bath in the room?
Canonically, no. However,
Damn it.
there is a side room that really serves no purpose in the game. And the room is big enough where you could have a tub there. It's just, if there wasn't, we'll say there's dwarven plumbing and the room that is off the side from the bed that you basically go in and it's storage, that is actually a bathing room with dwarven plumbing and hot water.
However, I would like to canonically make it so that he has one of those champagne glass baths that you see in the Poconos. I think
What?
so. It's like have you never seen those? It's like a big bathtub, but it's shaped like a champagne glass.
No.
It's a saucer champagne instead of a champagne flute. It's a saucer
Yeah.
champagne glass.
I've never heard of this in my life.
I will find you a picture.
I'm so confused right now.
It's great.
No, actually, I needed to know if the tub was elsewhere so that I could come and go into the room and shenanigan something. And that
Oh,
he would
absolutely.
be surprised by the time he comes out of the bath.
Yeah, because by the time he goes in, gets the water running, gets rinsed off, and actually is in the tub, it'll be a little bit. So, especially if you send a servant, if you send for a servant rather than try to go all the way to the kitchens. Because remember, the Inquisitor's quarters are at the top of Skyhold. The kitchens are down by the stables. You'd be gone for a little while if you went yourself.
Okay. I will get a servant,
Okay.
and I will ask them the following. I need a platter of meat, various cold cuts, cheeses. I need grapes, 3 bottles of wine, you know, the special one that Fenris loves,
Egregio Pavali.
Egregio Pavali. I need Orlesian silk bed sheets, if they have any, and a rose.
A kiss from a rose?
No, just a
But
rose.
where is the rose going? Never mind. I don't want to.
In my butt, of course. Where else would it go?
Don't want to know. I said it flat out.
There are also thorns. You might not want to do that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But no, it's not to go in my butt. Come on, people. I'm trying to do something romantic here.
All right. The
Are you gonna
servant.
make yourself into like one of those sushi, eat the sushi off somebody, but with cold cuts?
Maybe.
Thorny on Maine, I quit. I hate you. I don't actually hate you, but I kind of hate you right now.
Good.
Someone please clip this. Oh my god, just clip it. All right, composure, because we're almost out of time, depending on what everyone has to do. Unless you want to play this out and people can stay up. Do you want to play this out or do you want to save it for next week?
I can save it for next week.
Quite the kickoff to next week.
Like, I mean, that can be like what we end the episode on, just like a close-up of the paper that Harold gives a servant, and you have all of these things on it, and a confused servant face.
All right, so the rest of you, do you want to see how this plays out or do you want to hold on to this for next week?
I plead the fifth.
This isn't court. You can't plead the fifth.
Which we
I mean,
know means that she supports this idea if it happens, but she's not saying so.
That sounds about right.
I fall into that column.
Because
I-
remember,
But I-
you're all an hour ahead of me. It's only 10 o'clock for me.
I leave it to better judgment.
Wait,
There is no
Who is that?
your judgment on here?
Who is that supposed to be?
Like who?
better.
Who
Anyone
among
other than
us?
me.
But you're the one that stayed off Twitter all these years. You probably have the best judgment of all of us.
We pulled him down into the deep dark depths. Chloe.
Speaking
We're
of, I
we're
need like
the
a
crab
Twitter
bucket. We
tutorial.
reached up and grabbed you and pulled you back in.
Winston Works in the chat said roll a dice. I mean, it is an RPG.
I know that Sharp said that they would like if we pan to Broody Zalanis, so we could probably do Zalanis.
Oh, good
We
lord.
could.
should.
That's a
try.
lot of us to do Zalanis, though.
No, I meant
We don't have much time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have just thrown everything out the window. I give up.
it's Thirsty Thursday.
You can't take me
When I
anywhere.
signed up for this, I thought that meant that there would be drinks.
Well, there
I mean,
were-
you could drink.
Yeah.
No one's
There are
stopping me.
drinks.
So I'm going to roll my rivals
Oh, boy.
d6. Someone give me all of you give me a number. Write it in chat because I'll never remember who said what.
No,
Oh,
which,
look at it. Oh, we were almost good there.
which chat?
Good chat.
Fair.
Oh
So
I
god,
put it in
everyone in
chat.
chat is just like throwing out numbers.
shit.
Everyone, 2 people, but still.
So Sin and Kelly were closest. We actually got a 6, which is the rivals logo.
Oh, Lord.
No, that means we are going to so the last thing we see of Harold is this hastily scribbled note to the servant and a little fade to black, but we will not fade to black next week. But I want to check in on Zalanis before we end.
Ooh.
What is Zalanis doing?
So Zalanis is outside. And we find him sitting cross-legged on the ground, and his keeper's staff is within eye shot, but not currently within reach. It's sort of laying like at the base of a tree trunk, sort of where it looks like he probably threw it and it knocked into the tree and fell to the ground there. And he's just sitting, sort of staring out into the distance. And he stays there for a long time, and finally he takes a deep breath and reaches into his pouch, and he has it's a little charm, or like a little fetish. Well, that's not the word we should use on Thirsty Thursdays, but a little charm or a little necklace, a little amulet, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
That the previous keeper, when he was being trained, gave him. And he just sort of stares at it for a long, long time. And he stands up with it in his hand, and he shakes his head, and he goes over to the tree and picks up his staff and puts the amulet on the ground, sort of on top of one of the exposed roots of the trees. And he just whispers to no one, to the trees, to his lost clan, I will never forget, but I must leave this behind. Berisa was right. This is not my path. And he takes the staff and smashes the amulet and walks back into Skyhold.
Oh, damn. And that is where we're going to end tonight. Thank you. That was a lot tonight. How's everyone,
Yeah.
how's everyone feeling?
Good. It's been this weird. There's so much like somewhat, I guess, sort of cliche like RPG backstory for Verisa and Zalanis about, a murdered clan and they're the last remaining and this and this and that. And we talked a little bit about this not too long ago, Tanya, but Solanas was really confusing to me for a long time because he was really holding on to that, and I didn't know how to make him sort of interesting and fun and in the present, because all of that felt really broody and sort of downerish, but it felt important to me for him. So this was intense, but I'm really glad that he finally had a chance to sort of get the revenge that, you know, that Verisa got a chance to have in his own way, and now to understand what he is and who he wants to be and who he doesn't want to be, and now he can really move on from it, I think.
Okay. All right. On that important and, you know, a little serious note, I will turn it back over to Simon to get us wrapped up, and then 2 episodes left for now, y'all.
Hi everyone, it is me, Simon, at Wandering DM. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you so much to all of you who hung out in chat. Thank you for the follows, the subs, the donations, the everything. Thank you so much to all of you watching over on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that we have other fans on the other platform. Thank you also to all of our sponsors, Mage and Press, Found Familiar, Roll20, of course, and our partners through the Diceomancy program, Level Up Dice. You can check them out by clicking in the panels down below. You can find us here tomorrow for the Season 1 finale of Cyberpunk Red, where the party has infiltrated the lair of the villainous IEC Megacorp, and down in their labs are facing their Season 1 nemesis, who is now sporting some weird spidery cybernetic implants. And then come around on Saturday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Time, as we embark on a piratey adventure. And we are going to play our Session 0 of our upcoming Rapscallion game using Deirdre's own game called Captain's Blood's Odyssey. So be sure to come and check that out. And then we'll be back on Monday for some more Legacy, Tuesday for Witcher, and then, of course, be back next Thursday for some more Thirsty Thursdays with Dragon Age. I will leave the mic up to all of you. We'll go around the table, tell us who you are. If you have anything to plug, you can put links in chat. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, and what have you enjoyed the most about tonight. Let's do that. Let's start with Deirdre.
Oh, hey all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, Plexico with Esme4. You see me around on Twitch. And this was a lot of fun. I got to have fun. You know, it was like, great. Verisa got to do everything she needed, mostly. And then Zolanis walked into a room. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever will happen. I loved everything about this. I loved the character story and how everything goes. I loved what Zolanis is doing and how that's going to change and things that will happen. And I just love all of it. I love my sneaky, stabby bitch. But as for me, you will find me back here tomorrow night for season finale of Cyberpunk. And as Simon said, you'll find me here on Saturday running. It's a Descended from the Queen game that I wrote about pirates and fun things that happened with pirates. So that's what we're going to use as our Session 0 character creation for our upcoming PPTA Rapscallion pirate game. So we'll see what happens. It could be great. I wonder. And then other than that, you'll find me, check my Twitter because I was supposed to where I'm going to be, all the fun things I write and all the fun people I get to hang out with. Yeah, I'll see you all here next week for the fun, the drama, the shenanigans, making Tanya laugh uproariously, and all of everything that happens. And I just want to say I love all of you very much, and I appreciate this every Thursday. It makes my week.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Anderful1. And otherwise, you'll see me here on Thursdays. Today was really interesting. I think Bastion experienced some emotions today. Um, no, seriously, it's really great session. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen actually in our next session. I'm always looking forward to the next one, but this is going to be really interesting. And yeah, for now that is it. Thank you very much for being here with us, enjoying the game with us, and thank you to all of you wonderful people for being here on this journey together. And I will pass it off to Kelly.
Oh, hey, it's me. I'm Kelly. I'm the Opera Geek. I'm going to press enter on the pre-entered Twitter link there. You can follow me on the Twitters. It has all my links to everything. Here on Thursdays for Thirsty Thursdays. Here on Tuesdays to apparently just be the one that tortures people to death on a Tuesday basis. Wednesdays I'm on my channel. Streaming something with Devin Rue. I don't know. She's got her hands. She's gonna tell me what we're streaming, I guess. You can also, I'm gonna put the link in chat if anyone's interested. Until Sunday, the full performance of the Merry Widow from St. Petersburg Opera with myself as the Merry Widow will be up until Sunday on YouTube, on St. Petersburg Opera YouTube. And just something really cool that I wanted to share, more for the other person than me, I guess. But in 2016, I got to be part of the world premiere and workshop of Anthony Davis's opera based on the Central Park Five case in New York. If you don't know about it, please go read about it. It's a story that needs to be told. And I sang the district attorney in that, which I hated every minute of, singing the character, but was very honored to be part of it. And Anthony just won a Pulitzer Prize for it this week. So yeah, that is pretty amazing. Please go look it up. Look up Anthony's work, and educate yourself on the actual case that it's based on. But that's me.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eugenio, also known as DM Jazzy Hands. You can find me on the Twitters at DM Jazzy Hands. I am the dungeon master and producer for an actual play D&D podcast called The Last Refuge. We just released episode 140 yesterday. Holy hell. So you can find us every Wednesday. We release new episodes, and you should check us out because it's a good time. Also on Wednesday nights, I'm over on Little Red Dot's channel playing a game of Overlight. That's been super fun at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, here, having a great time, trying to remember what accent goes to what character. You know how it is. And every now and again, I think I will probably do some tomorrow because I had a good time today. But I have been going through Dragon Age Origins on my channel here on Twitch, twitch.tv/DMJazzyHands. So if you want to watch me come be delighted at my dwarf rogue hitting on Zevran, you can come join me there.
Shenaniganry.
Shenaniganry.
That's my new favorite word. I'm Tanya. I'm your GM that puts all of these wonderful players through all of this every week. I will confess, I just kind of see what happens because no notes I could ever make any of this possible. So for those that don't know, I'm on Rivals of Waterdeep, which is an actual play show over on the Wizards of the Coast Twitch channel over twitch.tv/DND. And I'm very pleased to say we have announced our season 7 premiere date, which is June 21st. However, we will be doing one-shots. So Sunday the 17th, I will actually be taking everyone to hell as the GM. And maybe we might meet an Infernal Goose. We might not. Who knows? Let's see what happens in those 3 hours. So we'll be in our normal time slot with an extra hour. So 12 to 3 Central, 10 a.m. Pacific to 1 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/DND. So if you do not follow Rivals, why is Twitter doing this to me? Or copy paste. So there is the tweet about us doing one-shots in our premiere, and Masood Hake, I hope I said that right, from J Speller Must Die is going to join us for both one-shot episodes. So it will be 6 of us at the table on May 17th and on June 7th. the Lady Tiefling, Latia Bryant, is going to DM on that session before we reconvene for 7th season of Shenanigans. And the last thing is, it's kind of cool, and I don't get to talk about myself that often. Greg Tito, our friend over at D&D, who is a senior comms manager, put out a tweet that for word and deed for my sins, I am the showrunner and producer for Rivals. So there's a tweet. Go give Greg some love. He's an amazing, amazing person. He's part of the reason Rivals exists.
He has
Find me
13
everywhere.
eyes in the body of a horse.
Yes, he is now a demon. But yeah, I'm Cypher2 everywhere. I do stream here as well on my own channel. Tomorrow there may be some more Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I finally made progress in the last DLC.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We are going to go, and before we leave, this week is Jasper's Game Week, and our friends at Mini Terrain Domain are currently streaming for charity for Jasper's Games Week, which is a fundraising for, if I remember right, suicide prevention.
It is. I just did their one last night, and it's really great. Go look up Jasper's Game Day. It's a wonderful charity.
Yeah. So we'll be rating them, and go spread the love. Go watch some other fun folks having fun playing TTRPGs, and we'll be back here next week. Bye bye, everyone.